Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to go over this update that I stumbled upon in Google Forms. It's a recent release and I'm not sure it's currently available to everyone. So if you don't have it yet, just be patient and hopefully you'll receive the update soon. When you open up the updated version of Google Forms, here is the message you will receive. So it looks like they have incorporated Gemini into Google Forms. You see the little greeting here and then Gemini at the corner, and there's a little note saying that this is experimental. But what it looks like here is that you can use prompts to create Google Forms, which will be very useful and honestly quite time saving. Here are some examples that we can play around with, and then we can type in our own prompts to describe what type of form we want to create. It looks like you can actually include a Google Sheets file, which is quite interesting. Okay, so I'm going to start by playing around with some of these examples, and then later on we'll create a prompt from scratch. All right, so let's see what we have here. The first one is a job application form to find a graphic designer. Next one is a charity run, and the third one an order form. I'm going to click this and see what else comes up. All right, so find a date for a team building project, a detailed quiz, evaluate onboarding experience for new employees. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. So what it does, it pulls that prompt in here, and let's click create and see what comes up. All right, so here's what we have. We have what looks like a form, and we have the option to try again or review the form that has been created. I'm just going to quickly review some of the questions, just paying attention to the different types of questions. Because sometimes what takes a long time when you're creating forms is trying to decide the question type you're going to use and selecting the right question structure. And it's nice that they're providing a variety of different types of questions. And even if you're not going to use these questions, you can just swap them out with the ones you want. I want to see what it looks like if I hit try again to see if it would be different. So let's do that. All right, so let's see what it created this time. So again, we have this rating question, multiple choice. We have this scaled question 1 through 5. Created a drop-down question here. That's nice. And then we have a question that's a radio style question. Okay, so this looks good. I'm going to go ahead and hit this button to see what it looks like. All right, so there's a little message here saying you can create a form with Gemini whenever you need help create a new form, survey, or questionnaire. And here is the icon. If you are using the old version, you're not going to see this icon. So when we click on that icon, it takes us back to the page that we started. All right, so here is what it looks like. I think this is really nice because now if we need to change the questions, we can do so here, right? This is a rating question. You can change the style of the question if this is not something that you want, or you can move things around by just dragging the questions back and forth. But I think it's really nice that it already creates the structure, and all you need to do is change the information if you need to, change the style if you have to, duplicate, add more questions if you need to. This, I think, helps with people that, and I do have this problem, so I'm sure I'm not alone, but when you have a problem with just staring at a blank sheet of paper or a blank form and you have to do something from scratch, I think for me, it's very intimidating. It acts like an additional roadblock if I need to start doing something and I have to start from a blank page. It's just very discouraging. So this would help with that. So even if you end up changing most of these questions around, at least you're not starting from this blank page that can be very scary. And this might actually give you a little bit of motivation to get things done. All right, so I want to see what another form looks like. So let's go back here, shuffle around. Okay, so gather clients' requirement for new projects. So I'm going to click on that option, see what that looks like. I'm going to add something else. Let's say availability and budget. Okay, so create. All right, now let's take a look at the preview. Project title, scope, deliverables, project start date, timeline, availability. Yeah, this is the one that I added and interpreted that to mean availability for meeting. Nice. A budget and importance. All right, let's try one more. Let's see what it creates this time. All right, so it looks quite similar. We have the project title, duration. We changed the style of collecting the information for the questions. All right, let's do create form. If we insert form, it will replace the one we already have, which is fine. So I'm just going to click insert. All right, and again, we can click through the questions, change things, move things around if we need to. and make edits to the questions or the answer options. Another update that was added to Google Forms is this button right here. It used to say share or something. I think it was share or send, something like that. But now it looks like it says publish. So let's click publish and see what's up. All right, so here you have the options to manage your responders. Here we have a few more options. We can change the access for the editor and the responder view. Click done and publish. Okay, so when we hit publish, you can share the form. This is a link that you can use to share the form. And of course, I like to use the shortened URL, so it's a nice short link to share. Back here, you can toggle this on and off to accept responses or not. And of course, you can copy the link here as well. All right, so now I want to test it out by including a file that I already own. I am going to add this file, this one right here. And so it's a simple Google Sheets that has a table with client information. So what I'm going to do is say, create a form to collect new client information for, let's say, salon business. All right, so let's see what this gives us. Hit create. All right, so let's see, new client information form. We have client name, date of birth, gender, email address, phone number, how do you hear about us, preferred communication, and a satisfaction survey question, and something more specific. Okay, I'm going to change this a little bit. All right, I'm just adding something more specific to the visit just to see what it will create. All right, so here we go. Name, date of birth, gender, email address, phone number, preferred appointment, date and time. How do you hear about us? Because I added facial care appointment, it added 2 questions related to that. All right, so that's nice. Create form. I'm going to replace the existing form. Here are the questions. All right, so I'm just going to check to see if it actually connected the form to the sheets. Doesn't look like it did. All right, so the form has been published. I'm going to copy the link and see what it looks like and then answer the questions like I was a new client and see if it actually connects to the Google Sheet that I attached to the prompt. All right, so here's the form. I filled it out with some information. I'm going to hit submit to see what happens next. All right, so back here, it has 1 response. So let's take a look. It doesn't seem like it connected to the sheet though, which I thought was the whole point. I would have to connect it manually if I wanted to, link to Sheets, and I could create a new spreadsheet or use the existing spreadsheet. Anyway, I just wanted to test that out. Maybe I need to play around a little bit with the feature. I'm not sure if it's supposed to connect the forms with the sheets, but it's interesting nonetheless. And if you're someone that uses Google Forms to create surveys or quizzes or for your business, definitely check this out. It is time saving because you can start with a prompt. It gives you a template that you can change and tweak to fit your specific needs. All right, I hope this was helpful. Leave your comments in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts if you've used this feature or if you have any specific questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.